In late July, Joshua Neely was driving home from work in his new Tesla Model X, but as he entered the highway, he experienced the most excruciating pain in his chest. He would have lost control of the vehicle if not for the autopilot feature. It kept him in lane until he was able to make a call and seek further assistance. This is a great example of technology reducing risk and saving lives. Well, it would be, but not everybody can afford an $80,000 Tesla Model X. The key aspect to mass market adoption of a piece of technology that reduces risk and helps make the world a safer and healthier place is its ability to incorporate with consumer-grade technology that's currently being used right now. So this includes wearable technology such as the Fitbit, which tracks steps and other types of health metrics, as well as the Apple Watch, which is a great platform to launch a variety of different apps. A mass market approach should take advantage of positive trends in personal health, wearable technology, and preventative medicine. We've seen tremendous growth in all three categories that indicate the need for a wearable device that does more than just measure steps. The solution is a supplemental wearable wristband that works in tandem with devices such as the Apple Watch. By tracking food intake, heart rate, and blood pressure, individuals know their health risk and ways to improve. Here's a quick overview of the health risks mitigated by such a system. 9.3% of the US population has diabetes, 6.3% of all adults are morbidly obese, and 25% of all deaths are caused by some form of heart disease. The CDC, the American College of Cardiology, and the Institute of Diabetes agree that the illnesses in their entirety, or at least in their severity, can be avoided with proper preemptive care. There are common signals and habits that, if avoided, can prevent these deadly ailments for those who suffer them for non-genetic reasons. Okay, so here's a 3D model of what the device would look like. The band itself is where the majority of technology will actually be housed. You can see these little rectangular pieces. Those are supplemental batteries that you build into the band, and because the band is made out of silicone, there's very little risk of overheating or damage to the individual if the band does get wet. And in addition to that, there's a consumer-grade processor that takes care of any additional requirements of the device. This, of course, could be offloaded to the actual Apple iWatch body, but this is just something to show that it is possible to house the processor within the band itself. Seiko actually had a design very similar to this, where they used a metal watch band and the connection points within it to help transfer power and data. So if anybody watching is wearing a metal watch with a metal band right now, you can look down and see that though they are individual links, they're connected with a central axle that goes through each one. This works a lot better simply because it's one contiguous silicone band. You have space within it to allow for flexibility and comfort for the user. The benefit is that the entire system is held together within one package, so you have less risk of any type of hardware failure. Alright, so the bottom of the watch face is actually where all of the magic happens. This is where the sensor array is put in place in order to help collect data that individuals need in order to determine their health state. So the three sensors that are required to do this are a blood pressure sensor, a heart rate sensor, and a body temperature sensor. These three sensors in tandem can help individuals track their health states over a long period of time. So whenever their doctor asks them, hey, before you felt lightheaded 2 or 3 weekends ago, what was your body temperature like? It's incredibly hard to remember that in an instant at a hospital room or in a doctor's office. So the watch, in its place, sends that data automatically to the doctor's office. And sure, there's going to be some patient information stuff that goes along with that in terms of security and confidentiality. But the gist of it is, individuals no longer have to remember how they felt on a specific day at a specific time before they got sick. This could be many, many weeks ago. So not only is this data incredibly useful for analytics, once we get enough of this data, doctors can start using it to actually predict different types of conditions. So if they know that individuals of a certain weight and age and ethnic demographic have certain characteristics that are precursors to heart attack or any type of ailment, then that's something that they can use to determine a risk factor for that individual, similar to the way governments currently put out risk factors for air pollution and other factors like that. So that's what the true power of this watch, that's where the true power of this watch comes in, because the data that it collects isn't a small sample size for a small number of people. It's actually a huge sample size. It's incredibly easy for individuals to adopt and start to use, and that data, once collected, can be incredibly useful in the future. So the strongest argument for this type of technology package taking off is in Fitbit sales data. The data indicates that over 21 million Fitbit units were sold from 2014 to 2015 at a 52% increase, which is absolutely incredible. Employers are then using that technology to help create preventative systems for their employees. So this works in tandem with the current shift in the actual healthcare industry, with the Affordable Care Act incentivizing preventative care systems. One company, specifically Citibank, took advantage of this by investing in their preventative wellness programs. Every dollar that they spent resulted in a savings of $4.5 according to the Citibank Health Management Program. Other studies show that an increasing number of employers are offering employee wellness programs, with 77% of large manufacturers and 29% of small businesses joining the trend. This means that an increasing number of employers are actually incentivizing their individual employees to be preventative and proactive about their healthcare situation. So in conclusion, technology has the ability to do amazing things, but the biggest issue right now is that it's not very accessible to a large number of people due to the cost limitations. By pairing wearable technology, which is something a lot of consumers are being very forward thinking about, with the lower cost associated with consumer electronics, we can provide a mass market solution to help reduce risk in the healthcare industry and personal wellness sector. This allows us to help collect data which doctors can then use to analyze what trends are occurring before major health complications arise. This will then in turn help prevent future generations from having to suffer through a lot of the diseases that are preventable if they're caught early and treated effectively. So with that, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to participate in this competition. My name again is Mandeep Patel, and I have done work with wearable technology with Qualcomm in the past, hence the nod to them in the chip usage in the product itself. In the future, if I do get selected for the Houston visit, I will put together a team of more diverse talent pool with a more diverse talent pool. The presentation is sorely lacking of financials, and that's something that I do address with a more diverse team. This is something we've done when we've competed in the Facebook case competition and other case competitions and design challenges on campus. So thank you for your time.